Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody. It's been a long time since I did an IG live, so back in action. Thanks for tuning in if you are, or watching this as an IG live later. Tonight, I'm going to be doing a IG live with Big Gerald. Big Gerald is the trainer to the one and only TBE, Floyd Mayweather, amongst many others, Adrien, Broner, etc. So it's going to be a good one. He's also a fighter himself who had recently came out of retirement. So it's going to be a good one. So let's get him on. Get your questions ready. Get your questions ready for me if you got any. And let's chat. Let's chat. Hey, Brother Gerald. There you go. Let's get you in here. So hopefully you guys hear me well. If you don't hear me well, or if there's some other issues, let me know in the comments.
What's up, brother?
Hey, peace, brother.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. A long day. So
Facts. Same here.
yeah. So how's everything?
Everything going good, man. This family just got done visiting. Just sent my half of my parents home. Yeah, so
Cool.
I had to picnic with the fam.
That's what's up. So where they going home to, if you don't mind me asking?
We're from Cincinnati, Ohio, so they're going back to my hometown.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have family in Columbus.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a couple much.
Yeah. Cool, man. So I'm glad you joined me, and I'm just, glad to talk with you and, chop it up. So, I've been, following you for a minute, and also been reading even more since I know we were going to do this live about you and what you've been doing and your history in boxing. So, for those who don't know, tell the people, who you are, and where you're from.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Started boxing about 15. I became ranked number 2 within like 4 months of boxing. I became the Olympic alternate for a 1996 Olympic team. I won many national tournaments. I won a gold medal for the United States in the Pan American Games. And I turned pro in 2000 with Floyd. He was my manager, co-managed me along with James Prince. And I retired shortly thereafter, and now I'm boxing trainer. Training like Floyd Mayweather, and now Woodley.
Nice. Excellent. And that's what kind of got me interested in, because, I'm a person who's, has a background in boxing, which is my main thing. But a lot of times people don't realize I also am a martial artist. So I did jujitsu and judo. It's not a big, I don't teach it the way I teach boxing like yourself, but, it's something I have in my bag, as on a personal level. So I do have a knowledge of it. And I find it interesting that, now the MMA fighters are doing boxing and really training with the likes of yourself, who are really legit, deep background boxing trainers, So what have you noticed as a trainer that's different, versus someone who's had a traditional boxing background?
So what's different as a trainer? Meaning, I'm trying to get what you mean.
Yeah, just the differences you notice, because like Woodley, for instance, is a veteran in MMA, so he's using his hands, but
right.
May not be his primary weapon. But what have you noticed different from his style, or what you need to do for him that you would need to do for a strict boxer?
Oh, okay. No, there's really no difference. And I said, he's one of those guys that always loved boxing. He probably was his first passion after wrestling. And he probably done a lot of training in it. A whole lot of man hours in it, where I can't see any difference. He looks like a seasoned veteran boxer, in the gym. So I can't see any difference at all, to be honest.
Right. All right, cool. And I kind of feel that was probably somewhat of the answer, because versus someone like another MMA fighter who has more of a wrestling base or prefers to wrestle first, Tyron's kind of 50-50, right. So he uses his hands to set up stuff, whereas someone else will use their wrestling to set up something else.
Right,
So,
right.
so
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I probably see a whole lot of difference. It'd probably be like starting someone from scratch almost. It probably would be like, you know,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's
Like if
definitely
you train Ben Askren, like when Ben Askren fought, Jake Paul. I mean, if you trained him, you probably our answer would be very different.
start from day one, you know.
Right, right. He has no boxing at all, like zero.
Yeah. On
Yeah,
day one. No, that's not a knock on nobody. So you want people to do stuff right way. So
right. And that's the main thing, it's a different sport. So, and coming from MMA, those are jack of all trades type of athletes versus boxers where, we have a specialty. So although we might be different in boxing, we still have boxing as the main tool. Like we're still using the same tool.
right, yeah, those guys in the UFC, man, or mixed martial arts, like it's a lot to learn and a lot to have to keep in mind, man. You know, and to be good at more than one thing or be great at more than one thing, man, that's a tough task, man. So I
Yeah,
commend who know how to do more than one thing on high levels.
right. Agreed.
He Wood is one
Um,
of.
oh, go ahead. What are you saying?
Hear me?
Yeah, I think you broke up for a second. I thought I cut you off. So,
He Wood is definitely one of those people who can do more than one thing at high level.
oh, okay, gotcha. Have you ever thought about doing MMA yourself at all in your career?
I've thought about it when I had first came out. I retired in '01, and I had came back in 2016. So I retired for 15 years, and in there, I was like, man, you know what? Should I should get in there and kick and elbow somebody, man. Like I would be good because I learn fast. I don't care what it is, man. You could be like, paint this room, and before I get to another room, I'm gonna look like a painter already. So I was like, man, should I? I want to elbow somebody. I want to like drop elbow. I want to like fly kick somebody. So I really did think about it, but I never like stepped into a gym or paid a trainer, for any lessons or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely sure. I'm not
Yeah,
like
that was my thought originally. I had thought about it. I was like, you know what? I got this boxing down. Not that I was a champion of any sort or anything like that, but got the boxing down. Let me try. Maybe I have more success in MMA. I was already old anyway. I was 30 something. But try, I did the judo, did the jujitsu. I'm like, I'm cool with that. But once I took the kick,
oh
I was like,
yeah,
oh, no. No,
uh,
this is not gonna work now.
shoot, they just being honest.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, there's no point at this point. Nah, I'm just gonna stick to boxing, and that's what I'm gonna go down. So.
You know what? When I was a kid, I grew up on the UFC back then, Gracie days, and I um I used to want to do it back then, but it was like there you couldn't like walk down the street in the hood and see a place that said UFC or MMA. Walk in and learn, So all there were boxing gyms in the hoods, certain,
Hmm.
but and baseball team and out in the park in the field at in your projects or whatever. But if there was, I probably would have been in the UFC if there was like some gym, something like that, because
Yeah.
fun. His Gracie made that fun, man, for real.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a question in the comments that how long have you trained with Floyd?
We trained this fight a full camp, but yeah, this is my first time training them for first of many.
Hmm. Sound good. Sound good. So you made a return after 15 years, like in your retirement. So when was that fight, and how did it feel being in there?
Um, I had blew up. I was way out of shape. I was drinking every day. I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I had got my last fight was at 122 pounds, and I got all the way up to 191 pounds. So I was way overweight. So in that journey, I call it, I was losing weight and getting back on path to make a return to the sport. So and all of that was wonderful, man. I needed to happen. Like I learned a lot. I went through a spiritual journey as well, not just a weight loss journey. So I learned a lot about the world, me, myself. Um, um, it was a fun process, and that was AB that kick started that. He kind of like he didn't double dare me. He just said, "Man, you need to fight. Like you way too good, man." Like it was like he wanted to see me fight. So and I know a lot of other people did too. But so I use that as fuel, and it was a great experience, man. I'm happy that it's a chapter in my life.
Hmm. Most definitely. So we had a question in the comments. You mentioned AB, so I think we recently seen some things of him being in the hospital. So hopefully he's good and he's recovering. I don't know what it is, but I guess the question was, do you know what's going on with him, and do you know his status?
Yeah, I know what's going on with him, but I'd rather him, broadcast that to the world. I don't think he's mentioned it yet, but yeah, I'd rather he broadcast it to the world. But I got nothing but positive vibes about the outcomes, and I'm just hoping that he can get back down here to me in Miami so we can start working out again. Eating right and working out hard to where stuff like this be at a minimum or not at all. So
Right.
on get back ready. I've been I wanted him to to venture off, from training, and and he did. So I just want him to come on back.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, get well, AB. We want to see you back in there doing your thing, and we all as many people have hate on AB. There's so many more that got love for him that want to see him do what we know he can do and continue to do it. So
Right,
he got all the talent. Now it's just like you just got to keep that mindset right. Sometimes, like you say, you need that break. You need that space from the sport. Sometimes there's a lot of I don't know. I'm not a pro. I'm not in the that level. Like my pros are at the bottom right now. But I'm sure there's plenty of people pulling at you in 100 different directions, and 90% of them don't have your best interests. They want you for the right now. So
always with positive people, man. If somebody suggests anything negative, you don't need to be around them at all, man. Because negativity it latches on to you and it's hard to get off. And next thing you know, everything you're doing all day long is negative. There's very little
hmm
life, and it should be the exact opposite. So, not saying I'm like this goody two shoe dude, but if I know AB's situation, I wouldn't do not one thing negative in his eyes around him in his environment. We would strictly be all positive, all hard work, and to get him to be the best version of himself and me as well, because you want to be the best version of yourself as well. So sometimes you need somebody to coach or somebody to be beside you, kind of like a workout partner.
hmm
So be spiritual partners, driving ourselves to the places we want to be in life, not to where we don't want to be.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and like you said, we all got flaws, and none of us are perfect, but I think it's the constant pursuit of progress that makes it all, makes it different from those who are just sitting in this negative space, in the wallow of things, pigs in the mud type thing. We
Yeah,
all got to think, all right, I'm not doing my best at this. What can I do to get better? Who I got to be around that's going to help me get to that next level. So
facts.
that's how I think about it.
Right.
So as a trainer, you got a brand new person coming into the gym. He's 16 years old, athletic, wants to box. What's the first thing you do with him? What's like, off the top of your head right now,
I just do what I was taught. I think I was taught right. Everybody gonna think that, and so we going through the fundamentals. We going straight to them, and I'm gonna push you hard. It's not gonna be easy, and trying to see if you're gonna break, and seeing if you're gonna break is the I guess determining factor to if I'm how serious I'm gonna take the relationship.
mm-hmm.
So if I'm a fighter or not, if I'm gonna tell you that you something else in life, something that don't take, you know, this kind of effort because it's a lot. Boxing is not no, you're not going to school, sitting down, right? You're getting punched on, and you got to worry about getting hit upside the head, and it's a whole lot of hard work, physical hard work, along with mental work. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so the same way I learned, the same way they gonna learn, and that's gonna be the way I determine if we make it to day 2, day 3, end up, becoming a world champion or not.
Okay, I got that. I got that. So what's your opinion on running? Because some coaches emphasize it, some don't, you know.
Mine's is run 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sundays off or one day off, whatever day you want to take off. One day off to rest and recover. But I need, of course you start off low, but once you get to a certain point, the lowest I want you to run is about 3 miles a day. And don't kill yourself, but, mix it up every night. 5 tomorrow, 4 the next day, 4.5 the next day, 6 one day, you're feeling real good. Back down to 3, mix it up. But, if you feel something hurting, of course, take a break. You gotta listen to your body, of course. But I'm one of those. Running is very important. Not none of that. I'm gonna run 3 times this week. No, running is important. Running is something you gotta do daily. You want to become elite. You gotta daily. You gotta act like it. You gotta work like it. And all the guys. When we came up, we was in Olympic camps and Pan American Game camps and World Championship camps. All those camps, those trainers, we had to run 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And go by. That's hard work pays off. And to me, when you take days off from runs, if it's not sore, you're not overtraining, you ain't been going so long. If you say only want to run 3 days a week because I want to do this, that sounds like an excuse to make a shortcut to me. And
Right.
I just know that people are they can have their own opinions, but for me, hard work pays off. Get your ass out there and run. I don't care if it's the road, if it's grease on the ground, I don't care if it's snowing, I don't care if it's lightning everywhere. Run, dodge the lightning. Ain't no excuse in a fight. It's because you got to be in shape. And the more in shape you are, the easier it is to learn anything. I don't care what it is. So I'm real big on running. Me and Floyd is about running and the fighters these days, man. They need to get it in gear and they listening to some faulty training, but it's all opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I take it all. I take it all with truth because listen, you got to listen to the people who doing it, right? Those are the real experts because there's a lot of people giving that advice who sitting in the chair. They ain't even doing it. Like I could be one of those people, but that's because I'm a heavyweight, so it's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The joints are the problem.
I ain't one of them. I'm just talking and telling somebody to do something that I can do myself. I go out there, I run with all my fighters. I don't care who it is. I don't care how many miles you want to do, how fast you want to do, how slow you want to do. We gonna get it done. I'm gonna do it with you just to show you that I ain't just trying to push you to be in this like a robot. Nah, this is what's required. You know what I'm saying? This is what us performing the best, and me too, because I gotta keep up with you on the mitts. I gotta keep up with you whenever. Like if you out here and you want to fight at the press conference, I gotta be in shape to fight at the press conference. So I believe in that, man. Put the work in. Put the work in. Whatever you put in it, you're gonna get out of it. So you work you working 3 days a week. That's less than half. You're gonna get you half assing.
Yeah, I hear you. So we got questions in the comments related to that. So they said treadmill, pavement, preferred.
That's
so
all.
What's your preference?
That's all purpose for me. I like running outside, but it's all preference, man. I think you get the job done either way. I just think like with the treadmill, those numbers be lying. Like you could run like you be running, you be dead tired, and you look up and they say you ran a mile. You're like, man, I know I just other 4 miles, man. That was 4. So yeah. And I know my body. I've been doing it so long. I'm 40, so I know distance. I done ran so many miles in my life that I know how far I'm running. I can close my eyes and I know how far I ran. Not on time, like these legs. But I say it's our preference. But either I say if you do the treadmill, do more than what the numbers say. Like go off of time. Like time yourself when you run on the streets. Kind of feel your heart, the way your heart beating. How your legs feeling when you get sore, when they get tired, whatever, and go off of that. Don't go off of the numbers on the treadmill because you'll be lying to yourself.
True. It feels different too. It's not the same. Like especially if you're doing the terrain of a neighborhood or a park or something like that. It just don't feel different because those dips and grooves and all that stuff counts when you're running. When you're on a treadmill, it just feels unnatural. You don't get that. You don't get that feeling.
Right, but you got to do sometimes too. If And if it's a flood warning outside, I know I said what I said earlier, but if it's a flood warning outside, you need a treadmill, get on a treadmill, put the work in. But when you cheating yourself, when you getting a good workout in. Just go by that. Don't let the treadmill be your coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, be your own
Hmm.
coach in that
Yeah,
situation.
I agree. Yeah, my big three is jumping rope, shadow boxing, and then sprints. So like long distance running for me is more damage. I'm 40 something too, so I got arthritis and all that. So if I could do a good couple, bunch of sprints and just that interval kind of back and forth on the track, then that works for me. And the same thing with jump rope. Do that interval of the rounds and just keep going. Shadow boxing. So I'm taking just that cardio and just like instead of the long distance running, I'm just breaking it up into rounds. So I'm doing, you know, 30, 50 rounds, depending on how the day is, how I feel.
There's always gonna be some people or some gonna be different exceptions. Like, if you injury, you gotta keep that in mind because you don't want to make something worse, by
Hmm.
doing something else. So yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like now, when I'm training others, listen, if you 16 and you in high school and you a high school wrestler, you better run. I'll be
Five.
on the side. I'm gonna be on the side over here. I'm gonna
Any
do the sprints on this side.
watch you do these 5 miles.
Hmm. Yep, I'm gonna be right here looking. I got the watch. Yeah, or bleacher runs too. That's another. That's my fourth one. So bleacher runs. So I'll do the elevation with the bleachers, and then I do that as rounds too. So just up and down, come back down. Cool.
Got some questions in there. It's a
Yeah, I'm
lot
trying to make sure I don't miss them. Oh,
of
I said,
good.
what about the grass?
Oh yeah, girl. I run on the concrete. I ain't never really had a problem. I see if people got a problem with their knees, they need to adjust. I ain't never had a problem. I'm 43 in October, and I can still go out there and run 8 miles, and my knees don't hurt. So, I ain't never had a problem. But I understand. I can see it from other people's perspectives. If they got injury, stuff like that. But if you ain't got no issues, get your ass out there and run, man. Put them miles in, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I think overall it's about making adjustments because I'm gonna listen. I hear a lot more about the running from the lighter weight guys. I'm 245, so the running is doing more damage for me. And I think most heavier guys, especially as they age, like you could do that when you're 20, even if you're a heavier guy. But once you start aging and then that gravity of weight, it starts making a difference. So it's all about making adjustments. But like you said, don't cheat yourself. So if you can't run, you better do whatever else you could do to stay in shape and don't eat a bunch of crap either, just because you don't gotta cut weight, you know. So that's part of the process.
Right. I see somebody say, "How can I improve my power as a fighter?" Serious question. Uh,
That's
it's
a good one.
people say that you can't add power. I guess it's you can't like experiment on every single human being because everybody's body is different. But my from my experience, how I made my power better was I just tried harder. I just tried harder. This every time you throw a punch, just try to throw it as hard as you can, as fast as you can. Try to make the bag say boom, make the sound that you want to hear out of it, and just keep trying because with trying something is progress,
Hmm.
progress, and if it ain't the power, uh, it's gonna be like speed, explosiveness, and all those together equal power is going to be like what you really shooting for anyway in the end result. So just keep trying. If you want to make something fast, same thing. Just throw it fast. Keep throwing it fast as fast as you can. Next thing you're gonna know, it's gonna be faster. And
Yeah.
it's a way to gauge it and to measure it, but people will let you know. You'll start to land your jab more. You start to land the right hand more. You start to put people down more for the people who try to use your power trying to get where you want to be, and you're gonna slowly get there. Some people will get there faster, but you got to keep trying.
Hmm. I agree with that. I agree.
Punch hard.
I think yeah, I think it's like you said, it's a skill set, right? It's trying to make, and a lot of times throwing it faster, it's throwing it when they can't see it, and then that will land. If they're not bracing for it, they're not ready for it. That in turn will make it feel more powerful anyway, and then boom, you got what you're looking for.
Right, and they on the ground. It's gonna be end result. Really, what you looking
Mm.
for, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Like I was telling you earlier, I had a no, that was someone else, but I was saying to someone that I had an eye doctor's appointment, and they was like, well, what you go to the eye doctor for? Well, I have a torn cornea from a jab that happened 6 years ago. That's permanent. It's a permanent damage, but it was just a simple jab, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all it was. No, I have no fancy story. I got nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing. It was in sparring, and it was just a jab. That's it. But that because I didn't see it coming, and that's all it was. All right, we got somebody requesting to be in. Who we got? Oh, okay. So I read in your profile that you also are a music producer, which is something we have in common. So that's what I thought was cool too, because I have a background in music.
Yeah,
So
me and my brother, we had our own record label back in the day, independent record label. We our first artist we got distributed uh, global on a global level through Universal as a subsidiary of Universal Records. But the production came. I always like being in the studio, like when producers making the beats. I just like
mm,
I can watch. Some people will hate it. They be bored, be ready to leave. I could stay there for days. Somebody out there making music, I could stay there. And I
mm,
think my dad. I was raised like in a band family, so like my uncle played the sax, my dad played the bass. My one of my other uncles played the drums, so I kind of like was around music a lot. So I think I got like a good ear for it. A lot of people might think they got a good ear for it, but yeah, it happened in my spare time. I used to shoot pool a lot, and every house I would move to, I would buy a pool table. And I was in a house that I didn't have a room for a pool table, and I was like, man, what am I doing in my spare time? I'm like, make some music. So I just bought some. I learned like everything else, like I told you, boxing and sports and whatever. I learned fast. I got real good at it real fast, and it's a great pastime.
oh, okay,
Great
cool,
pastime.
cool.
Yeah. So what
So
you
what's
what,
your? Oh, go ahead.
what you make your music on?
I started out using the MPC 2000 XL. That was what you talking about, like early 2000s. But then I moved on to Reason. So I use Reason and I use a Arturia keyboard.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of what I do now. I haven't done a whole lot lately because I've been really focused on the boxing. But I still got some stuff. I actually got it right next to me, so I can pull it up. So just a little mini keyboard so I could travel with.
Oh yeah.
Something like yeah. So I throw it on the laptop and just get busy whenever I get the inspiration. So
Yeah, I'm about to make a couple tonight. I got one of the Rick Ross's next songs on this. I want to call it a single. Of course, the artists decide what song is gonna be the ones they push the hardest. But
yeah.
single on his next album, the song we did together, it's a bad boy, man. And that was uh, my very first beat. Is going to a huge artist like a legendary artist like Rick Ross. So
Oh
that's
yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
yeah. I can't wait to hear it for real. Waiting on the album to drop.
when is it? When's he slated to drop it? Like any date he got in mind?
Supposed to be for first quarter. So, but we're still dealing with the pandemic. So, stuff getting, got delays on it. So, I ain't about to be bugging nobody, keep calling them and asking them when you drop them, So I'm just waiting patiently, just like the rest of the music world.
Yeah, for
Wait.
sure, for sure. Yeah, just kind of got to let it do its thing. There's probably so many other red tape things they got to deal with anyway. So what's your equipment that you use? Like, what's your process when you're making beats?
I'm using the machine they call it. Um,
Machine. Okay.
Yeah, I got the micro, and somebody got lucky and stole my MK3. It's the bigger version,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, I love to work with them, and I use the doll that comes with the machine. So I don't use like the Logic X and stuff like that. I just make the beats right inside of there, and then I send it to the engineers. They dump it
Okay.
in whatever DAW they like. So I'm just making the music. I don't do
Yeah.
much. I just sit in the house and vibe out, and make the music. Hopefully,
That's the way to be. That's the way to be. Keep it simple.
it keep me out
Cause
of some trouble out there. I don't go out, so I also make music.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I stay home with the family. I got a 2-year-old daughter, a wife. So, when I get in the basement with some quiet time, you just do stuff like this, IG lives or, some music. So I used to use Pro Tools. So Pro Tools was cause I was actually an engineer. So that was kind of my background. I started in engineering and got into production and DJing. So I had Pro Tools and I used to sync the MPC. Actually, I had the MPC in Reason synced first as the production side, and then I would dump all of those into Pro Tools. So that was kind of how it worked. Cool. So besides the big names that we hear about, are there any prospects that you're working with as far as boxing is concerned?
As far as budget concerned, I got a there's definitely some prospects. I can't really speak on because they got situations they got to deal with like management.
Hmm.
Somebody might have like a coach that they have to explain that they ready to pro or to change trainers. So I'll wait for that fighters or those fighters to speak on it. But yeah, I got
Hmm.
a lot of fighters that I'm about to work with, and the future will know about them. Well, they know about them in the future.
Got it. Got it. So when you work with fighters, are they in the same camp, like as far as location, or do you go to them? Like how does the logistics work with it?
I do it all, man. I'm easy, man. But I try to never train more than one person at a time, like in the gym. If so,
Hmm.
if I'm training two people, it's gonna be two different gym times. Because I want to have my eyes. I want them old school trainers that want to have their eyes on their fighter at all times. I mean, when they're on the bag, I'm not gonna miss one mistake. I'm not gonna miss one great thing, and that's so I can commend them on the great thing, and then we'll fix the mistake together. But if you off training, or if I'm off training these other four people over here, and you making mistakes, I can't watch you over there. Every second. So I only train one fighter at a time. So I'll never have like this huge camp to where I'm in the ring with all these fighters and I can't watch everything, so I'm gonna be. So I might have to. That'll probably cause me to have less fighters, but
Hmm.
I don't mind. I'd rather do things right than, you know, great quality, less quantity, and then vice versa.
Hmm. Agreed. Agreed. Especially at the level that you are, they have specific requirements that can make or break their career. So at that point, there's their your job is to be their captain of the ship and make sure that they're steering the right direction. So makes a lot of sense.
I'd rather get a win than to get a check. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'd rather take the win over a check any day. So, you
Hmm.
know, 10 people giving me 100,000 is a million. I'd rather get 1 million just with just one fighter. Or
Hmm.
five. You know, I'd rather get the win, man. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm going.
the wins are the checks anyway. Ultimately, right? You don't get to those big numbers until the wins start piling up. So makes perfect sense to me.
Sure.
So, I don't want to hold you up. I know you got a busy day, had a family and everything. So, any last words you want to leave us before we exit?
We can answer some more questions. I don't like leaving people hanging. You know what I'm saying? I know we probably missed a
Oh,
couple.
sure, sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to be conscious of your time. We actually had one from Franklin Love in the questions area. He said Tommy Hearns or Aaron Pryor.
Come on, man. Hey, he was my assistant trainer in the amateurs for a little while. He used to train at a gym that my coach used to take us to just to get sparring, and then we end up going there a lot more often. And Aaron had a job. I think his old manager, Butler Rosa, hired him, to be like an assistant trainer to overlook at things, and help her. And a couple times we had to get in the ring and spar Aaron. So rest in peace to that man. He was a great fighter, and he loved people out here. from all around the world for what he brought to the sport. And so I got AP. AP was a threat for anybody. Um, People really like stayed away from that dude, man. Like back then,
Oh yeah.
I don't say no names, but a lot of stayed away. They did not want to fight that man because of what he brought.
Oh, for sure, for sure. No, I think a lot of us know those names, but we're gonna have respect because they
Right.
had their place,
Never know. I don't put that on people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it just seemed like it. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we got somebody that want to tag in. I'm gonna take the chance. I don't know him, but I'm gonna tag him in to see what's up.
Yo, yo.
Brother.
Oh, straight jabs. Listen, I had to tap in. It's my brother GT in the life, man. I just kept fighting to tap into this, man. Respect you.
What's
And
up?
respect, man, respect. Just wanted to, get you in. I know you was requesting, so
I was requesting because you guys were ready to tap out, but you know what? Um, Sometimes people say shit to, what should we say, to gain a man's trust on a life. I'm not that guy. GT, you know me, man. GT is as real as you will ever get.
Thanks,
mhm.
bro. Thanks, bro.
And GT, this ain't for me to tell you on my brother's life. I'll tell you because we DM'd anyway. What a bad man. From Adrien Broner to Floyd Mayweather to still be humble. And GT, I don't mind if you go and cook some breakfast right now. I'd rather you go away from mine. I say this to you, brother, the brother that's hosting this live, that sometimes people, right, don't get the utmost respect for who they are as human beings.
Mhm.
Right? This
Yeah,
guy
for
to my
sure.
left, right, I don't want to say any more because if I say more, it looks like I'm trying to be on his side to get more from him to give me some love. No, 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 no.
Mhm.
If you know about him, you know about my words. So we stop right now. All right? Let's leave it at that. Wow. But I need to say this. GT, what? AB to Floyd? Listen, listen, listen. I can't stop this. Because now, if man says stuff right now on this live, straight jabs. Maybe
Mhm.
you may sit there and say, why is this guy tapping in on my live to give GT the love or the words I want to say? Bro,
Mhm.
Real shit, brother. It's real.
I don't give a shit about no other man. I'll say it as it is, and I can say this.
Yeah.
And GT can back me on this. I talked to him, brother. I can say this. And before I say any more, GT, I know I can say this. Me and you talk.
Mhm.
Bro, did you see the man's words in a corner for Floyd Mayweather against the poor brother? No, no, GT, go put something in the microwave. You need to walk away from this. What I want to say there,
Yeah.
listen, brother, straight at jabs, listen. What I want to say here is I didn't even know GT was in Floyd's corner. I
Mhm.
didn't even know that.
What?
No, no, GT, straight up. I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that until a few days later, right? And then when I watched the fight back, I'm seeing a guy in a man's corner that's talking to him. Where Floyd's had some of the greatest people. Listen, when I say Floyd, GT, you know this. Straight jabs at anyone watching this live.
Mhm.
We've got Roger Mayweather.
Oh,
We've got the
legends,
man's
legends.
father.
Yes.
We've got a guy 50 and all. We've got a guy that we cannot give Floyd that respect until he actually puts his hands and gives the gloves up. Up until that point, we can never give Floyd that respect because when he stops fighting, it's only then his legacy is out there for us to kind of sit there and say, you propel that, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Bro, I don't care. I want GT to know this because I followed GT many months before this. Um, Jake Paul is a real fighter. Logan isn't. Hear this. Hear my
Mhm.
words. Jake Paul is the real fighter. Logan isn't. But Logan came with a game plan and actually sit. Oh, all these people saying I'm drunk, bro. Guys, I'm a Muslim. I don't drink. So put that shit aside. If I'm drunk, I'm
Don't drink.
drunk. Listen, I want to say something here. I didn't even know GT was in Floyd's corner. I didn't know that. Yeah? I didn't know that. And then I hear a man a few days later giving Floyd these words. Chill. The guy's trying it. We don't need to. Listen, my words today won't reflect what GT was telling him, because we will never know what GT was telling him. My question to you people is this. Floyd was told completely straight, we don't need to engage with this youth. This youth's ready. He's ready to listen. He's not ready for the boxing situation, but he's ready for the game. And when somebody's ready for the game, listen, you got to respect that guy. You really have to respect somebody that is 22 years younger than you, more athletic than you, more ready than you. Whether Floyd is not that, it's apparent. Floyd is an old man. Yeah? Whether people don't like my words, I'm going to tell you straight. GT, I didn't even know you were in a man's corner, and your words I heard 4 days later. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Why are we getting engaged with him? But listen, you stopped another. I believe Floyd Mayweather's fight against Logan Paul, who was a guy, is not Jake Paul, who had 2 losses prior to Floyd's fight. You, my brother GT, stopped Floyd from engaging. And the fact Floyd didn't engage was the reason why he didn't have an O. I'm sorry. Guys, people will never respect me for these words. When somebody's 22 or 24 years younger than you, you gotta give that ownership to that right. You gotta put your hands up and say, we're not what we were 6 years ago. Floyd dealt with Canelo. Floyd dealt with people that oh, come on, guys, man. And GT, I love you, bro. And I will say on this live where there's only 27 people watching this, I believe you were the man that was the right guy in Floyd's corner, because if it was anyone else, Roger, anyone else that ever was around Floyd, they would have made Floyd engage. And guys, listen, if Floyd would engage against somebody that's 22 younger than him, it could have become a problem. And for that, GT, bad man. I didn't even know you were in his corner, bro. You fuck him. I don't want to swear. Bad man, cut me off this line. Get me out.
All you gotta do is hit the X. All you gotta do is hit the X. You good.
Bro, get me out. But GT, I'll let you take over. And I want to say this to you straight, Jabs. I know GT, and with that respect, I believe I can say these words. People say I'm smashed, I'm drunk. I'm a Muslim, bro. I never drunk in my life. But this brother to the bottom left, not only did he, I'm not gonna give Adrien Broner that disrespect to say this guy made Adrien Broner. He didn't. He just gave Adrien Broner the reason to get out there and fulfill his skill set. Because Adrien Broner needs to understand that it's not about gangster. It's not about the people that snaked you. It's not about those that were on the other side that fucked you. Adrien Broner is a real one. And GT did that for me, right? But for GT to do what he did to Floyd, and I didn't even know, bro, Floyd was in a position where Logan Paul, who isn't even a boxer, and isn't Jake Paul. Jake Paul's got 2 wins out of 2. Logan Paul's got 2 losses out of 2. But what Floyd was made to do in that fight was to take no risk. Bro, listen, relax. Relax. We're here for the money. We're here to take the money. This guy's 22 younger than you. He can tap you. He can maybe hurt you. Why are we going to take that risk? And GT, I fucking didn't know you were in his corner. That's crazy. I stop right now.
I appreciate joining, brother.
Let's do that. Let's do that ASAP.
Straight Jabs, tap me out this live. I want you to know one thing. There's only
Mm-hmm.
27 people watching this live. And I don't care if there's 1.5 million people watching this live.
Mm-hmm.
This brother to my bottom left is so real. And I can say this because he knows me. You know when people say this?
Mm-hmm.
People can say shit because they want GT to tap in and DM me. Me and you, GT, we DM each other regularly. Yeah?
Yeah.
This brother to my bottom left is so real, the world doesn't even know. Yeah? Adrien Broner to Floyd Mayweather. We're talking about next. Who's the next guy that wants titles? Who's the
Mm-hmm.
next guy, Mexican, American, British, that wants to be coached by a guy that's actually going to have your back on a real one? Go to this guy on my bottom left and he got you. Other than that, I have no more words. I have no more words. I'll be
No,
faking
I
my
agree.
words.
I agree. He was gracious enough to respond to me. I'm not anybody, you know. And
I'm not,
I said, hey, let's talk
you know
live.
what?
Let's talk
You're
boxing.
nobody. I'm
Yeah.
nobody. You know what GT says? He's nobody either.
I'm
But
nobody.
GT Adrien Broner, he dealt with Floyd Mayweather. But listen, we don't get gassed by that. This is a guy
Mhm.
that's got his own story. And people like GT, the reason why people like you and me can relate to this brother, man. It's a real as you can. Bro, I wish I didn't. I wish I couldn't. I promise you, I wish I didn't say this on this live. Because it's words I would tell him on a live between just me and him. But
We
the
Mhm.
know,
fact you're a guy, you're a
know.
good person. I need this brother on my bottom left to know this. GT, my brother, I will always respect you. And if there's anything I can do for you, fuck all these other people that talk shit. Bro, you know that. You know that.
Facts.
Real recognizes real. This guy in the bottom left, man, is so real that we don't even know. We still don't know. The world don't know. I'm tapping out, GT. And we'll talk. Better be tomorrow, bro. I'm tapping out. Because
Talk-
it looks fake otherwise. I'm out.
That's my boy right there. My boy.
That's what's up. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. You know, you got the flowers, right? We say that a lot, right? Get the flowers while you're still here. So, you
Yeah,
know.
well, me and his relationship started off just like me and yours right now. Just like this. We
Oh,
cool.
cool, cool.
Anytime y'all want to tap in, talk, conversation, whatever, hit me up. Available.
Most definitely. And I appreciate it. No, this was good, man. We definitely got to do more of these. Definitely like talking boxing and everything else. So, we're gonna hang it up here for now. But if anybody else wants to last minute question, we do one more and then we'll call it a night.
How can I measure my distance better in the fight? I teach that every single day. Um, you gotta land the punches at the most distance you can, as far as you can
Mm-hmm.
reach. When you on the bag, when you on the double end bag, when you sparring, when you on the mitts, like you don't want to jab with your elbow bent. You want to be all the way out, and you want
Mm-hmm.
this. You don't want to stay right here. You want to go past where you at. So you don't jab like this. You
Go
really,
through, right?
that's where you learn your distance, where you learn your range at.
Yeah. Yeah. Punch through the target. That's what they say. Punch through the target. So, like you said, get that arm's length and then go through it. So you get that extra, like Bruce Lee said, the 1 inch punch, right? That's exactly kind of what he was doing in a way. You could put your arm all out and then you take that extra inch through. That's where the power is really. Going back to that conversation we had earlier. If you want power, you got to manage that very distance because it's a stick, right? We always say use the stick, right? The stick's got to be stiff. It can't be bent. It can't
Right.
be too short, you know, otherwise throw a hook, you know? So it's got to be right at that apex, right at that edge. And then you just take that extra 1 inch, 2 inches to go through the target. And that's where you're going to get your most effectiveness, that snap, you know?
Right.
So good question. Good question.
Everything that's standing still get your full extension. The stuff that's moving around, you gotta use your legs and your arms to get the full extension. You gotta keep both in mind.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Let's see what else we got. What's a good workout for a new boxer other than shadow boxing, and how often should I shadow box?
Uh, shadow boxing, I say. See, when I first started, I had to shadow box 3 rounds. Um, uh, After I turned pro, I switched from rounds to minutes. I don't anymore. I do straight nonstop. So um, I would tell a fighter to do is 10 minutes of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to pay close attention to all the details. So in order to do that, you might need to slow everything down and just go through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to be out moving fast like slow everything down.
Mm-hmm.
So 10
So
minutes,
that way.
taking your time, paying close attention to detail. Floyd is I always use Floyd a lot of examples when I'm expressing a lot of stuff right, above average, and sometimes and most stuff he does he's elite in that area. So, and his shadow boxing, we go watch him in shadow boxing. He's some of the greatest, man. Think about everything. He has an opponent right in front of him as he's shadow boxing. So of course he's defending against their offense, and he's doing this all while he's working on what he needs to work on offensively. So if he needs to squat, bend his knees, and go and slip it right to the left side to drop the body shot, he paying attention to everything. So don't move so fast that you missing how to do things correct. Just slow
Mm-hmm.
down. And think about keep everything in mind and always put an opponent in front of you, because they firing punches back too. You got to learn defense, and you want to know you be able to say your grandkid's name when you're 40 and 50.
For sure.
You start forgetting stuff, So you know what I'm saying. Defense is important. So yeah, I say 10 minutes on the shadow box and just break it down, just slow it down so you can work on technique.
How important do you think, do you think the jab is for a beginner? Like, do you think that they should throw nothing else but that in the beginning?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I teach what I was taught, and the first day is stance.
Mm-hmm.
Go over that until the fighter got it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, some take longer than others, but the stance. And then once you get past the stance, it's the stepping. You learn how to step. Keeping one foot behind the other, and keeping the base solid to where you can't get pushed over if somebody was to push against you. And then
Mm-hmm.
to the jab, and I say stay on the jab until the jab is good enough. Don't
Mm-hmm.
move. Don't move to the next thing. The Roy Dale style, yeah, that's my second coach, Roy Dale. Rest in peace. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he pushed us, boy. That jab, for real. We had to work that jab, and man, this shoulder, man, that probably my muscle on this side was probably up the still down here. Had to throw that
Yeah.
jab. Yeah, so I say keep throwing it until it's damn near perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
then you right here.
I hear you. I feel like the jab, as much as we talk about it, especially as trainers ourselves, is still just underutilized, and not underutilized by the amount of jabs thrown, but I think at the cadence that it's thrown. Like when I watch a fight, and it's easier said than done because I'm the one watching the fight. Obviously, I'm not the one throwing a jab, so grain of salt. But I feel like a lot of times there's just not enough frequency thrown of it.
Right,
There's a lot of gaps in time. Like I'm looking at a fight and I'm seeing a 3 to 4 second gap that there's no punch thrown, where it could just be a jab. It could be just a measuring jab, something just to keep something in his face or blind him for another shot. But a lot of times it's just too much of a gap in time. Like every 2 seconds, there should be a punch. Even if it's not the intended punch to be landed hard, but at
right,
least the one that is doing something to get data,
right,
something of that nature.
right.
What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I agree. Um, uh, of course, there's a saying that you can do too much of anything. Like you can drink too much water and you drown. And so
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to jab too much to where you just open yourself up for counters for a smart fighter. But there is a lack of jabs in the sport, and I don't know if it's because we losing teachers like myself that was taught by another teacher, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just guys who don't really know the sport that teach, and they don't know the science of it, and they watching fights, they watching the Chavez, and they not seeing him throw a bunch of jabs, but they see him going in there going for knockouts and body shots and overhands and stuff like that. That the true teachers, what we teach, are getting swallowed by all this, go hunting down and knock him out stuff. But I think I think one day, eventually, this is a new era coming up right now too. I think the guys around my age are gonna start. They're like ending their careers in the sport, and they're gonna start training fighters, and we'll start seeing a better generation, a different era of fighting than this last one. And we'll start seeing more jazz. We'll start seeing more of the sweet science coming back that's been missing. Because I did. It's a lot less jabbing, basically.
Yeah. I think there's a generation that we lost to other sports too. I think that's probably a lot to do with it. So the trainers that were, or the fighters that were ending their careers who didn't turn into trainers, kind of didn't pass the knowledge on one way or another, or sometimes maybe they are passing it on, but maybe the students aren't practicing it properly too, because you can make them, you can take them to water, but they got to be the ones to drink. So maybe there's a gap in time, because a lot of those guys who are in other sports, as basketball and football came more popular, maybe those guys who would have became fighters, and learned the sport under some of those great trainers at those, the previous generation, would have probably became, the great fighters of today. So, I always think about that too, because I grew up in an area, if I'm from Jersey, that everybody wanted to be a basketball player. They weren't thinking about boxing. There were few boxing gyms around, but everybody had a basketball or football in their hand. So it wasn't really the sport that people thought top of mind,
Right. Yeah, the jab is key, man. It's so much that could be done with the jab. If you remember the AB's last comeback fight in February, he threw a lot of. He had a real crispy jab, real sharp and crispy jab, and he probably threw more, or he threw it at a faster pace, and punches per round compared to his last fight or last fight.
Yeah.
That jab is key, and we were able to get through to him to use it more, and we just gonna compound on top of that. Just got to get that man back in the gym, and we're gonna compound on that. Y'all gonna see a more exciting AB as well.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to it, because I feel like he's not even cracked the surface yet, and as good as he is, I feel like that frequency, the jab on that day was definitely doing what we know that it could have been doing in other fights, and he would have had some wins, some solid wins, if not knockouts, because of it, and I think that's the setup that you need, just that constant jab, breaks a guy down. Like he can't, after a while he keeps seeing it, he can't do nothing about it. He gonna make a mistake, and there goes the right hand, or something, or a hook,
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I hate to end it on you guys, but I gotta run. Got a 2-year-old upstairs making a bunch of noise looking for daddy. So, I appreciate your time, Gerald, and I look forward to doing this again. And I appreciate you being humble and working with me with time and everything, because I know it was we had some back and forth, and we couldn't get the schedule right, but you stayed communicating with me, and I appreciate that.
No doubt, brother. Anytime. I appreciate you for even considering me to do it, bro.
Hey man, I'm all about the boxing community, man. That's my goal, is to really highlight those that maybe we don't know that much about, that are important. And also, I'm a fan myself. So, at the end of the day, I get to talk to great guys like you and others, that I'm a fan of, across all genres of life. Boxing is first, but, even music, and anything else. So
I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. For sure.
no problem. All right, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in and giving your comments and questions. So, follow me at Team Hazardous if you want to, and stay tuned for more.
All right, brother.
All right. Peace, brother.